Okay, it's on. Let us begin.
All right. First, we want to give honor to our Creator, all those that could not be here, all those that have gone on to a higher place of being, and all those that are present with us here today on this great day. We're so grateful to be here. We're so grateful to be above ground, to be able to learn and to share in this knowledge with the sisters and the brothers in honor of the Almighty Creator, the Messiah. And we're looking forward to growing in numbers and in strength and in unification. So it is so.
So be it. Hallelujah. Thank you.
Yes,
We first
hallelujah.
we first want to say um we first want to say Tawada, which means thank you. And we want to welcome the family of Yah, for we are gathering this day. We are in the Most High Night Month. I have to look at my calendar to get the right day, but we are in the 8th day from Adam, which is the 13th day from creation. And according to the Father's calendar, we are in, let's see here. We are in day 12. I'm looking at this correctly. Day 12 of the ninth month. It falls on the heathen day from on November the 28th, 2020 AD. Okay. Because we're on the day, far as the Most High Day, it begins on November the 27th to November the 28th, because we're still in the daylight phase of the day. So it will fall on the ninth month and the 12th day, the ninth month and the 12th day. As far as the day of the sun, we are in the sun's ninth month, and it would be the 6th day. The sun's ninth month, and we would be in the 6th day, as far as the date. Okay, which is very important to know, because as we've been learning for these past weeks, the calendar is giving us understanding with the biblical prophecies. It's also giving us, it's tying us into the Most High timeline, which shall lead you to dates. And this is why the Messiah prophesies unto us that we should know the seasons. Okay, we should know the season of his coming. Okay, because he has given us the date, which is confirmed by the high priest Ezra. But he said, after 7 days will come the final judgment, which is the eternal judgment that comes by our Father. But we learn through the word there is a first judgment, and that's done by his son, Yahusha HaMashiach. So those who've been keeping a record of time, we should know these dates. Which bring me to this. I do want to share. Let me see what screen. Okay. I do want to share this Bible verse that would go in hand with the Most High calendar. Okay. Let's see where we at. Here we go. It is in the Apocrypha chapter 18, and we're looking at verse 27. Let me refresh my screen. Okay, so we're looking at verse 27 here. And another name for the book of Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha is known as Ben Sirach, and it actually means the son of Sirach. Okay, the son of Sirach. Let's see, can I move this over some? There we go. So it reads, a wise man with fear in everything, and in the day of sinning, he will be aware of offense, but a fool will not observe time. Now, we want to put an emphasis on this verse. It says what? A fool will not observe time. Now, for those who had a chance to read the book of Jubilees, it said what? There will be those who observe that the moon would come in 10 days too soon, which we've seen that now. That has been prophesied and it is coming to pass. But a fool will not observe time, which remind me of what the Messiah said. And I got to find that verse because I want to give it to y'all. Because for those who say we shouldn't observe the heavens, well, evidently they're not understanding what Torah has taught us. And we have to go back to the foundation, which is beginning. For Genesis 1:14 said what? These lights, which are the sun, the moon, and Mazarah, shall be for signs, for days, for season, and for years. And this is what the Messiah said. If y'all give me a minute, I'm going to try to find it. Because he said this to the Pharisees when they was questioning who he was. Let me see, can I find it? I know it's in the book of Matthew, I believe. I think it's Luke or Mark. Let me go to Luke first. It's like one of the things where you know when you see the page. Because I do want to give that to y'all as something to add to your list dealing with why we should observe times. No, yeah, why should we observe the signs in the heavens and why we should observe times such as keeping a record of the calendar. Let me just do a word search. Thank you, Father. I'm getting there faster. I think it's the word observe. Okay, signs of the time. Yeah, but they were asking him for signs, and he was pointing out to them how they observe the heavens, especially when they want to know what the weather was like. Let me go back and just retype that word. Okay, here it go. Matthew chapter 16, verse 3. That's one of them. Matthew chapter 16, verse 3. And let's turn to my book because there's some other precepts to that verse. It also can be found in Mark chapter 8, verse 11, and Luke chapter 12, verse 54. But let us go to Matthew chapter 16, verse 3, and we're going to read higher up, y'all, okay? Okay, I'm going to start with the biblical summary first. It says, the Pharisees require a sign. Yahusha warned his disciples of the leaven of the Pharisees and Sadducees. The people's opinion of the Messiah, Peter's confession of him. Yahusha for show of his death, reproving Peter for dissuading him from it, and admonish those that will follow him to bear the cross. Now, this is one of the good chapter to read when you're trying to understand why we keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread. It represents what would take place in you, okay? For we learn that leaven represent the doctrines. Well, which doctrines? Either you're going to keep Yah's doctrines or you're going to keep man's doctrine. And we learn from these sacred books that man doctrines come from these principalities, okay? So now we're going to read verse 1 through 3. It says, The Pharisees also with the Sadducees came and tempting, desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. Now, we can see this evident today. Do not people constantly ask for signs? And the Father's giving it, and they're not even paying attention. And even when our Father showed them a sign, they still do not believe. Okay? Because of the hardness of their hearts. Verse 2, he answered and said unto them, when is it evening? Ye say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas, and he left them and departed. And that sign that he's talking about, just as Jonas was in the belly of the whale for 3 days, so shall he be in what? In the heart of the earth, known as Sheol, in there for 3 days. I think the Hosea prophet Hosea, I think it's chapter either 12 or chapter 6, and you can see the confirmation of that as reading the book of Jonah. Okay, so he give us what a carnal representation that tie into something spiritual, what the Messiah did. He set the captives free from the powers of darkness, because as we learn from those sacred books, they could not enter into paradise, which is in the heavens, and this is where the tree of life is. They could not enter there until the Messiah fulfilled his part. He is the second Adam. He had to fix the first Adam mistake in order for them to what? Transcend, or to be taken to paradise, which represent what? Freedom and liberty to be with Yah. Okay. And I do want to read another version of this. And let me see. I think I need to go to, let me go to Luke first and see. Yes, let's go to Luke, and we're going to start at verse 54. Luke chapter 12, verse 54. Let me see if it's down here on my search list. Okay, I'm going to go to it. Okay, I'm going to read a summary of this as well. It says, the Messiah preacheth to his disciples to avoid hypocrisy and fearfulness in publishing his doctrine. Warn the people to beware of covetousness by the parable of the rich man who set up greater barns. We must not be over careful of earthly things, but seek the kingdom of Yahuwah. Give alms, be ready at a knock to open to our Lord whensoever he cometh. The Messiah ministers are to see their charge and look for persecution. The people must take this time of grace, because it is a fearful thing to die without reconciliation. So we can go down to verse 54. Let me see, can I move this over? Yeah. It says, and he said also to the people, when ye see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway ye say, there cometh a shower, and so it is. And when ye see the south wind blow, ye say, there will be heat, and it cometh to pass. Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that ye do not discern this time? Yea, and why even of yourselves judge ye not what is right? I'm going to stop there, but as you see again, this is another confirmation to us that Yah want us to study the heavens. He has given unto Adam so we can know what? The signs of the time. So we will not be caught off in the coming of the Messiah. And so we will not be caught off when he send the command to disperse the eagle wings to gather the elect from the four corners of the earth. Okay? Remember, there's different levels of inheritance in the kingdom to come. Again, it is determined by your heart, your faith, and your works. So we just read Luke chapter 12, verse 54 through 57. I'm going to click on so y'all can see where the precepts are for that chapter of the 1611. So you can have that as well. And then we begin into the lesson. Okay, I am going to have to change my screen, y'all. So let me go here because it's something I need to pull up. I need to pull up the agenda. Let me see, what is this one? Okay, so I can come out of this. And this FYI, that I'm gonna put together a playlist of all the things that's dealing with this family gathering pertaining to the calendar and mysteries. But there was a video I put out this morning dealing with the 9th new moon report, and from the 2nd up to the 3rd quarter report. And you're going to see why all this stuff is important as we go through the prophet's writings, okay, especially Enoch, on why we need to keep up with these numbers. So let me go to the agenda sheet. While I'm waiting for that to pull up, y'all, give me a second, okay? Mute my mic too. Sorry about that, y'all. All right, so I put a quick agenda so we can see what we need to follow. So basically, we are picking up where we left off from the last class session and the last review session that we had. So we're still looking at the function of the three lights. And while I got this open, I can go ahead and take this part off. And then I will be adding that photo as well. Okay, so we're going back to Mazzaroth, and hopefully from there, then we'll still look at the formula on how to set up the Most High calendar on paper. And then I'll look at, then I'll be sharing my photos I took of the moon in this first week, because when I noticed the heavens and how the moon is positioned dealing with the first week of the moon, or the first phase of the moon, and what I mean by that, that is, excuse me, y'all, that is when the moon is increasing in light and going up to the 50%, known as the half moon. And I noticed something about that moon in the position of the heaven, because it was telling us something. Okay, so that's why, what I'm saying unto you, it's always going to be homework and ongoing. Take time out to observe the heavens. Like take a day to observe it in the morning. Take another day to observe the afternoon. Take another day to observe the heat, to observe the evening, and even take another day to observe the night, especially on the week when the moon is working itself to a full moon, because you begin to see how they use these lights to determine time. Because even at night, when the moon is full, when you look at the position of the moon, this how the Israelites knew that it was midnight. Go back to the book of Exodus chapter 11, I believe, or Exodus chapter 12. They use that light to determine the time, um to determine the time. So with that light in its fullness, they was able to know that it was midnight. Okay. So let me find my sheet, and I am going to be working on a chart, so y'all have a more better um, printout. And I'm trying to think, yes, let me do this. It'll be so much better. I'm going to start a chart. So let me just come down here. I always can copy and paste it to a fresh document, but we're going to go down here and we're going to start something new. We're not new, but y'all have your papers, but to make it easier to see, I'm going to type it out as we go. So we're going to pick up at sign number 9. So let's see, insert table. Okay, got one for number, one for sign, one for sun, then one for them, one for that. I'm gonna make 2 extra columns just to be on the safe side. Okay, let's just do 10 just to be on the safe side. I don't know why I did that, but let's see here, insert. I need to do some rows. Rows, let's see, insert row below. And I'm gonna repeat it. Okay, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So I gotta have one for the title part. So this gonna be X. Okay. 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we'll pick up with 10, 11, 12. Okay. So we started with the night sign. Okay, and in the Hebrew way, if y'all remember, a Hebrew would say, what is the night sign of Mazzaroth? Do y'all remember how they would say it? Okay, Okay, that is the Gentile way of saying it. But what will a Hebrew say?
30.
Look at your notes.
Sign 9.
Sign 9, okay? And if we have time, and if somebody can remind me, okay, I found some information in the book of Enoch with Mazzaroth. There are other scriptures, but just for a highlight today that we can add to our foundation, if someone can remind me, I'll pull that book up too as well. Okay. Okay, sun month. So a Hebrew would say sign 9, right? Let me see here. We're going to center them and we're going to boldface it. Okay. There we go. So for sign 9, for the night sign of Mazzaroth, for Hebrew would say sign 9. I should just go ahead and just get all these little blocks in a certain font so I ain't got to keep doing the same thing over again. Okay. We'll do narrow. So we got sign 9. Okay. Now, what will a Gentile say for this sign? What would they say this sign is in their language? Do I have a volunteer?
Sagittarius.
Okay, Sagittarius. That's what they would call this sign, right?
Right.
And where is located in the heavens, as far as Mazzaroth circuit is concerned? Where is it located? What degree?
30.
What you say?
30.
It's 30, but it's in what? Increments of 30. So when we add up to the ninth sign and we take 30, make sure I did this right. I don't want to take 30 times 9. But if we take 30 and add it to 210, we would get what? Because we said Scorpio was located at the 210th degree. Therefore, Sagittarius should be located at the 200 and what?
240.
Yes, 240 degrees. I don't know where my little degree sign is, so I'm going to just use a little asterisk right now for my degree sign. Okay. And what month in the Gentile calendar does this sign fall in?
November and December.
That's right, November and December. Okay. Trying to see what else we have here that we need to pick up for Sagittarius. So we know in this month, what is the upcoming feast that the Israelite keeps as a memorial that's coming up?
Christmas.
Is that an Israelite feast or is that a heathen feast?
Okay.
Huh?
I'm sorry, you said the Israelite?
Yes.
Or the Hebrew?
Well,
Israelites keep Christmas.
Israelite keep Christmas, or is that a heathen's holiday?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's a heathen holiday.
That's right. So what upcoming feast that we have in the 9th month that an Israelite would keep as a memorial?
Feast of Lights or Hanukkah.
That's right. Feast of Light, Hanukkah, and another word is what? Feast of Dedication. So those who have a copy of the King James 1611, you will see that word being used in the book of Exodus, Numbers, and in the Tanakh, you would see it being used in the days of King Solomon. Okay? Because that's what Hanukkah means, dedication. And when you understood what took place in the days of Moses and also in the days of King Solomon, then you would get the true heavenly meaning of what dedication is and how one is dedicated. Remember, all things come by the Spirit, hint, hint. Okay. Oh, let's see here. Anything else? Trying to think if there's anything else I need to bring up. Okay, so let's keep it moving. We're gonna go to the next sign. Oh, well, we'll come back and do the other part. Maybe just focus on the Gentile part for right now. So when we go to the 10th sign, what would a Israelite call the 10th sign of Mazarah? Look at your notes for the other signs. How will Israelite name the 10th sign of Mazarah?
They will call it sign 10.
Sign 10. Okay. Now, what would the Gentile call this sign?
Capricorn.
Capricorn. And where would it be located? What degree in the heavens, y'all?
$270.
270. And how we got that number was adding 30 to the Sagittarius degree mark, which was 240. So when we add 30 to 240, that's how we got 270. Okay. And what month would Capricorn fall in, far as the Gentile calendar goes? What month can we expect to see Capricorn in their calendar?
December to January.
December to January. Okay. And again, 10 means what? Completion. Now I remember what I need to say about the 9th month. And it's dealing with a biblical event of the flood. Okay. So bear with me as we go back. So 10 means completion. Okay. Now, I want to see if anybody remember this. If not, don't worry. Okay. But what happened in the 9th month when Moses was 601 years old? Now, because I'm gonna give you a little hint. Now we know the flood came when he was 600 years old. Okay. And we know it took about a year for that event to complete because the earth has to be completely dry and the waters had to return back to their place. So after that year completed, when Noah was 601 years old, what took place in the 3rd month, which is known as the 9th month, called Keslu? What took place, y'all? Did anybody remember? Give you a little hint. It has to deal with the rainbow covenant. Okay. In the 9th month, on the new moon day, which is probably day 1 for what I have so far, that is the day when Noah built an ark and he made an atonement for the earth, okay, for their sins and their wickedness. And this is when the Father established what we call the rainbow covenant, was to remind us that he's not going to destroy the world by water, okay? Also, he gives other instructions, such as we should not eat blood, or nor should we, something about killing each other, nor eating their flesh, something like that. I can't remember. It's on the top of my head, but I know it's something about we cannot eat the flesh of Adam, nor can we drink the blood of the animals we eat. Okay. So those were some other things that the Father gave to Noah. Okay. That happened when you think about the number 9. Okay. So Noah was 601 years old, and he built an ark and he made an atonement for the earth. Okay. And I am going to type by number 7, y'all, that how I can say it. We already talked about number 7 represent the beginning and end meets. The 11 tall meets. Okay. So you ought to have that in your notes. Okay. Now we're going to sign number 11, sign 11, okay? How will a Hebrew name the 11th sign of Mazarah? What'd you say, sis?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Far as the 11th sign of Mazarah, y'all, a Hebrew would say sign 11. Sign 11. Okay. Now, what would the Gentile say? What is the name that the Gentile would use for this sign?
Aquarius.
Aquarius. Okay. And where is Aquarius located in the circuits of the heavens?
(330 degrees).
330 degrees. Wait a minute. Go back. Check your math.
Yep. That would be 300 degrees.
300 degrees. Okay, thank you, sis. And what would be the months in the Gentile calendar that this sign would fall in?
Pisces.
Pisces. Okay. Oh, we done jumped the gun, y'all. Sorry about that. What would be the month that Aquarius will fall in on the Gentiles calendar? Okay, I'm going to give that to you. It'll be what? January?
December. January, December.
Say that again, brother.
I believe it's the end of December and January.
For Aquarius?
I believe so. I could be wrong.
Okay. For what I have so far, I have it as January to February.
You're probably right.
Okay.
I know
That's what I have so far.
January, but I thought it might have been the month back, but you're probably right.
Okay. And like I said, if it's incorrect, we'll come back and update it. Okay. So far what I have, January to February, and I'm going to give this to you in Yahuwah prophetic messages. In the message of I'm coming to you, the prophets give us what 11 means. And 11 means destruction. Destructions. Okay. That's what number 11 represents. Kind of remind you of what happened to the Twin Towers in New York. What day it happened on? 9/11. 9/11. Okay. And I do need to back one thing up. The Feast of Lights, known as dedication or Hanukkah, does overlap into 2 months. It goes from the 9th month to the 10th month because it's an 8-day feast. So when you read the book of Maccabees, you will learn that they kept it. And also, when you read Torah and you read the book of the Kings and the book of Chronicles, you will learn that they follow in the same way as they kept the Feast of Tabernacles, meaning that your first day is a Holy Convocation day and your 8th day is a Holy Convocation day. Okay. All right. Now we're going to the 12th sign of Mazzaroth. What would Hebrews call this 12th sign? Look at your notes, y'all.
Sign 12.
Sign 12. And with the Gentile, what is the name that the Gentile would give this sign?
Pisces.
Pisces. And where is it located in the heavens in as far as this circuit is concerned? What degree?
330.
330 degree. So remember, we're adding 30 to each degree, right?
Right.
And what month of the Gentiles calendar would this sign appear? In what month in their calendar?
February to March.
February to March. Okay. And here in number 12, we have what? Purim. And what I like about Purim, it reminds me about salvation. Just as Esther put her life on the line, she said, what? If I go before the queen and then I die. But she had to what? Save her people. So she did a work out of faith. Okay, because when you read a book of Esther, you will learn that there was a law made, and the law was that you just could not go before the king unannounced, or where you had to have an appointment with him. So Esther put her life on the line. She didn't make no appointment. She went before him because she was on a mission to save her people. Okay, and then you'll learn about Mordecai. And the reason why you want to reflect on this story, because like I said, it's a lot of messages that the Father has given unto us, but it's to let you see how the Father works, okay? Because He is the master planner, and He has a way to save His people when there is no way, when there's no hope, okay? Because we know death was at their door. For their enemy, which was Haman, was planning to exterminate or to kill a nation of people, okay? Because it goes back of him hating them, or what our ancestors did to his people. I think it was the Amalekites. So he had on to that grudge for a long time. To understand that, go back to Torah in the book of Exodus, and you will see what our people did to the Amalekites. But anyway, well, Haman thought he had the upper hand, but he did not know who he was up against, the master planner. So what Yahuwah did, he stirred up the king and kept him from sleeping, which caused the king to read the books. And when he read the books, he remembered a good deed that Mordecai did unto him. So in other words, the father was setting things up to let the king know, do not kill his people. He gave favor to his people because of what Mordecai and because of what Esther did. So I mean, I like to reflect on that, even though these are not the holy days that our Father commands us to keep. But when you go to the book of Numbers, chapter 10, this is why we still need to keep a memorial of these things, because they are what edifying us. They are teaching us things, and they're also what showing us some things about our Father that we may not know. And when we learn these things about our Father, it would strengthen our trust in Him, strengthen our faith in Him, knowing that He's going to make a way out of no way. As often as I would say, Yah will, Yah's way. Okay, so I was going to take y'all to Numbers chapter 10 so you can see why, we still need to keep a memorial of these days. Okay, let me bring this over some. And when you go to Numbers chapter 10, this is give you the understanding why we still should keep a more of these days. Okay. I was going to scroll down to find that verse. Here it go. So when you have Israelites debating, talking about we don't have to keep them, well, then that's their choice. But Torah do support us keeping even more of these days. Because when you read Numbers chapter 10, verse 10, this is what Yah says. Also in the days of your gladness. Now underline that in your Bible. Was not in the days of Esther, they were happy, they were glad, and they want to keep a more of what Yah did for them. Okay, when you read also, I think it's in the third or fourth book of Maccabees, in that copy, you will learn what else happened to the Jews during this period of time in the days of Egypt. Remember, in that time too, they were also in Egypt as well, if I remember correctly. But it's another miracle that take place, and it's dealing with the elephants. See, the Gentiles are going to use the elephants to kill his people, but y'all didn't let it happen. But anyway, it goes on to say, also in the day of your gladness, in your solemn days, and in the beginnings of your months, ye shall blow the trumpet over your burnt offerings, over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you forevermore before Yahuwah. I am the Lord, your God, Yahuwah. So even in these other days, Y'all want us to remember, because guess what? He was the one working behind the scene. He made a way for salvation for his people when death was at his door, when there was what? No way out of this, but he brought them out. This is why we need to remember these things. Again, it goes back to our Father and to his Son and to the Ruach. Okay. Now let us go back. So that's another nugget to add on. So when somebody wants to break, we ain't got to keep Purim. Don't argue with them. If they want to miss out on that edification, that's on them. Now I am going to add a line here in this chart. And don't worry, for those who cannot see the chart, I'm going to send it to you so you're covered. Okay, so we're going to add a line. Let me see where to go. Let's see here, insert, row below. I'm going to put an X here. Okay, so we come back to sign 1 because this is what I want you to understand. Okay, so you can see the completion, okay, of Mazzaroth's circuit. In the beginning, I said that sign 1 is known as Aries. That's what the Gentiles call it. The Hebrew would say this first sign of Mazzaroth is sign 1, but the Gentiles would call it Aries. Okay, and we said that Aries starts at the 0 degree, which is what? Beginning. When you understand about the number 0, it is a number and it is counted. Okay, and Aries fall in the month of what? March to April. Okay, in the season of spring. Okay, that's what we need to also put in here. Let me see, should I put in, oh yeah, seasons. Sorry, y'all, I'm just typing something to remind myself of something. Seasons, okay? So when we look at the degree from Pisces to Aries, we're going from 330 degrees to 0 degrees. Now, in order for that to happen, we have to add what? 30, right? This is where we have the ending meeting the beginning. This is what we have. The ending meeting the beginning. Okay. And this is done with the circuit of Mazzaroth. Ending meeting the beginning. So we have the Aleph, we have the Tau meeting the Aleph. Put here Tau, okay, which in Hebrew it means the end, and the number that Tau represent is 400. I'm smiling because 400 should remind you what? Of the 400 years that Zion affliction shall be what? Fulfilled. When we see that, we have seen that coming to pass because the mystery Babylon, who is the whore that sits upon the beast, has recognized our people being under their kingdom or under their realm for 400 years. Okay. Another way that a Gentile would say this, Gentiles would say the Alpha and Omega. Okay. So we know Omega means end and Alpha means beginning. Again, this comes from the Hebrew language when you're dealing with transliteration. Okay. Okay, so I put that down here so you can see the connection. So when Mazzaroth completes its circuit, his circuit, okay, it'll come back from the ending point meeting the beginning point. And I'll come back in later. Well, so everybody can see if I come back, not come back. Forgive me, y'all. We're going to fill the rest of this out too. So Next is we got to list the sun months. Okay, so you can align it with the right season of Mazzaroth. And the reason why I'm going to put these sun months, because remember, these are the two lights that works together to let us know what season we are in. So I want you to see that. Okay. So when we look at the first sign, let me go ahead and get all this centered. The first sign of Mazzaroth is known as sign 1. What month of the sun is connected to the first sign of Mazzaroth that the Gentile call Aries? Do I have anybody willing to guess? And I want to give you a little hint. It's on the calendar. What would a Gentile say? Because as to our knowledge, we don't have the names of the sun's month in Hebrew. So what would a Gentile say? It's the same way as we do our weekly format, and it's the same way as we do the 12 signs of Mazzaroth. Do I have anyone to guess? Okay. A Hebrew would say the month that goes along with the first sign of Mazzaroth is month 1. Month 1 of 12. You can say month 1 of 12. For the sun, remember the sun only has 12 months. Okay. So they would say month 1 of the sun, or they could say the first month of the sun. Okay. Right. What season does the first month of the sun fall in? What season? Do I have anybody to guess? What season would the first sign of Mazzaroth fall in? Okay, I'm getting this to you. Spring. Remember, when the sun enters into the first sign of Mazzaroth, this is what we look for. It's known as what? The spring equinox. The spring equinox, right? Another word for this is Tekafah. And forgive me if I misspell it. Teku. Let's see. Something like that. Let me look it up. Let's see. Blue. Okay. So when the sun enters the first sign of Mazzaroth, this is when you have daylight equal to night. Okay, daylight equal to night. So it marks the end of the sun's 12th mark, of the sun's 12th moon, not moon, of the sun's 12th month. Okay, so when that happens on that day, it's marking the ending of that sun's year. Okay, so on the next day is your first day of spring. And we'll read Enoch where you can make the connection. It won't probably be on this gathering, but it'll be on the upcoming gatherings. We're going to read the book of Enoch so you can make the connection with this, because this is a very big topic. Okay. So we look at the sun and Mazzaroth. Now the Hebrew word for year is Shana. Make sure I pronounce it right. Okay, I think I need to look at this one. Let me go back. I probably need to type in, it's dealing with the sun. It says sun's in. So let me look for that word there. End of the year. From the beginning until the end of the year. Let me look at this one. Okay, so it's got to be with that sun. When I say it's got to be with the sun, it's dealing with the verses with the sun. So let me type this in. I have to probably go back and find that verse. Trying to see how to spell Tekrafah. Hold on. Let me try this. Tekrafah. Okay, so this is how they usually spell it. It's Tekufah. Okay. Tekufah. So let me put that spelling. I'm just going to copy and paste. So I have to keep coming back. So I was kind of close. Okay. So on this day, that's when you have daylight equal to night. Okay. So daylight is equal to night on this day. So on the next day will be your first day of spring. Okay. And again, don't worry about it. We're going to make the connection when we go in Enoch's writings so you can connect this both together. But just know that when the sun enters to the first sign of Mazzaroth, that's let us know when spring began. Now, what month of the moon is associated with this? When I say associated, what I mean is we know the moon don't start exactly with the sun. The moon be trailing behind, right? So what month of the moon is close to this timing of this? And I'll give you a little hint. This is when we keep Peshat, known as Passover, also known as the Feast of Unleavened Bread. What month? Okay, I'm going to take it to everybody. It's on mute because they're in the middle of doing something. So I'm going to give you the answer. It's the month of Aviv or Aviv. Okay. Now we're going to look at sign 2 of Mazzaroth. Okay. Sign 2 of Mazzaroth. The month for sign 2 of Mazzaroth dealing with the sun would be known as month 2 of sun. Okay. Now we already discussed that Taurus is the name that the Gentiles give this sign, and it occurs 30 degrees in the heavens. We already have the month down. Okay. And what season would sign 2 fall in or indicate unto us still? Excuse my phone, y'all. It will be spring again. Remember there's 4 divisions in the year, and you can find that in the book of Jubilees. There's 4 divisions in the year. Okay. And the name of that month that is associated with the sign 2 of Mazzaroth and the second month of the sun would be Ziph. That's the associated month of the moon. Okay. Now sign 3 of Mazzaroth. Yes.
I thought that the March was Adar. No?
Let me go down.
Oh.
If we look at Adar, let me see. Adar can fall in somewhere between February to March.
You said it cannot?
No, it can.
Oh.
It can. Remember, the moon circuit is shorter than the sun, so she's not always going to be on point with the sun. This is why you have some variation. For example, the sun can, in this circuit, we have 365 days in a quarter. And then in the 4th year, it will increase to 366 days according to the laws in the heaven. But for the moon, she would be about 354 to 355 days. So because there's some shortness in the days, you will find the moon will be behind the sun. In other words, it'll start later and later in the year, where your Peshat, which is Passover, can fall into the winter season. So what our Father do in heaven, he calls the heavens to produce a 13th moon, to get the moon to be aligned so she can fall in the proper seasons. Because when you study the feasts, the 3 solemn feasts, you will learn that Peshat has to fall in the spring season. Shavuot, which is Pentecost, has to fall in the summer season because that's when wheat and your grapes are ripened. And then the Feast of Tabernacle have to fall in the fall season. Okay. And you'll see this more as we go back to the calendar. This is why y'all see me adding when the sun entered to Mazzaroth on the calendar, so you can see when do spring begin, when do summer begin, when do fall begin, when do winter begin. And you will see that each and every time these feasts, these 3 solemn feasts, will fall in those seasons.
Okay? All right. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Sign 3, we're looking at, it will be connected with month 3 of the sun. Okay. We already been over the name of sign 3 that the Gentiles will call it. Okay. And we already been over the month that the Gentiles will see this sign. Okay. Now, sign 3 of Mazzaroth with the sun working together The season for that would be spring still. Remember, there's 4 divisions in the year. So for the sun's month, we're going to do some math here. For the sun's month, we have what? 12 months in the sun's circuit. And the Father said there are going to be 4 divisions in the year. Okay? And I probably need to show y'all that verse. But let's first do the math. So if we take 12 divided by 4, we get what? 3 months, right? So there'll be 3 months in each season. 3 months in each season. Okay? This will be found in the book of Jubilees. The book of Jubilees, chapter 6. Okay? And it ties into the events of the flood. That's why y'all see me, putting the dots together, connecting the dots. This is why it's so important that we pay attention to certain biblical events, because now we realize that it's tying into the calendar. This is how we got the laws. This is how we got the commandments on why we do what we do, or why the Father does what he does. Okay? So it came from what happened with the flood. Okay? Let me go ahead and pull that website up. We go to sacred text. Sacred text. Let's see which one I want to go to. Okay, go right here. We'll go to Jubilees. And we're going to go to chapter 6.
You're going to go to 19.
19, let me see. Let me move my little piece out the way over here. I'll move it down. So that way. Okay. You said 19. Okay, I'm going to look a little further down. Here we go.
Yeah, 19.
I'm going to read a little higher, y'all, okay? We're going to start. It's really at verse 23, but I'm going to read it up a little bit higher. But I do recommend your spare time that you read not only chapter 6, but also read chapter 5. Jubilees chapter 6, for it says, for I have written the book of the first law, in that which I have written for thee, that thou shouldst celebrate it in its season, one day in the year. And I explained to thee its sacrifices, that the children of Israel should remember and celebrate it throughout their generation in this month, one day in every year. So when you read this chapter, it's talking about Pentecost, but it's letting you know why it's changed, because it's dealing with the Father making this agreement or this instruction anew. Okay, but let us keep reading, because most people think it's in the 3rd month, but actually it has been moved to the 4th month. Again, you go back to Exodus and you map out the events that took in place with Moses, you will see why there was a change. Okay. 2 people entered the waiting room. Okay, let me see what's going on. Waiting room. Knit. Okay, knit. Oh. Okay, so let me go back here. All right, so let us read verse 23. And on the new moon of the 1st month, and on the new moon of the 4th month, and on the new moon of the 7th month, and on the new moon of the 10th month are the days of remembrance, and the days of the season in 4 divisions of the year. So now we begin to understand why the Father have on these 4 seasons now. It's based on the event of the flood. So let me keep reading down to, I'm going to read down to verse 25. So let me start again at verse 23 so this can flow a lot smoother. It says, and on the new moon of the first month, so the first day of the first month, and on the new moon of the 4th month, that is the first day of the 4th month, and on the new moon of the 7th month, that is the first day of the 7th month, and on the new moon of the 10th month, that's the first day of the 10th month, are the days of remembrance. So he wants to remember this. Remember these events of the flood. And the days of the seasons in the 4 divisions of the year. What is the 4 divisions of the year? What we know as today, we call it spring, summer, fall, winter. And each of these seasons has what? 3 months. These are written and ordained as a testimony forever. So this is a testimony forever, y'all. It has been written. And nor ordained them for himself as feasts for the generations forever, so that they have become thereby a memorial unto him. Again, it's confirming what we read about in Numbers 10, even though these are not what? Mandatory feast days, but the Father wants us to keep them as a memorial unto us. What? To remind us of him, also to remind us of the salvation he has prepared for us. Verse 25, and on the new moon of the first month, he was bidding to make for himself an ark. And on that day, the earth became dry, and he opened the ark and saw the earth. And the new moon of the 4th month, I'm going to stop there, y'all. But when we look at verse 25, it says that the new moon of the first month, he was bidding to make himself an ark. So when we went back and studied the details, that took place in the 7th month of the Most High calendar. And we know the 7th month represent what? The beginning and the end meet. So that is the month when he started building the ark. Okay. Then it go on to say, and on that day, the earth became dry, and he opened the ark and saw the earth. Okay. And let's go back to the chart. So I gave you the math on how we get to the conclusion that each season will have 3 months. So the name of the 3rd month that is associated with the sun's 3rd month and the 3rd sign of Mazzaroth is, oh, how about I say this right? Sivan. Okay. And this is the month when you have the Israelites in the wilderness of Mount Sinai, or the wilderness of Sinai. Okay, and this is where it takes place when they receive Torah or receive the covenant. And another hint, what had to take place before they can receive that? They had to be what? Sanctified. They was baptized by the water, by the word. Okay, so they were sanctified. Okay, when we look at the 2nd sign, so they had to be sanctified first. So I'm gonna put here water baptism. Then when they get to the 3rd month, we have them being what? In the wilderness of Sinai. And this is where we have the covenant being established. Okay. And in this covenant, Israelites and Gentiles could partake in it. But what was the same for the Israelite was also the same for the stranger. Okay. The Most High was not going to have a mixture of holiness with heathenism. I'm going to make myself clear. The Most High was not going to have a mixture of holiness with heathenism. Very important. Okay. Let's see here. Sign number 4 of Mazzaroth. Okay. is associated with what month of the sun? I mean, what month of the sun works with the fourth sign of Mazzaroth? We have the month 4 of the sun. You ought to have the Gentile name of the fourth sign of Mazzaroth, and you also have the location of it, as well as you have the name of the month already. Now, what season would the fourth sign of Mazzaroth indicate unto us?
Summer.
Will you say?
Summer.
Summer. Also, I need to make a correction. Not only the water baptism took place in the second, but it also, we have what? The keeping of the Sabbath. The keeping of the Sabbath. Now, with the water baptism, I will go back and research because it may have fallen in the first sign, but I have to do some research. But I do know the order of this. The correct order is water baptism first, then the keeping of the Sabbath, then you had them enter into the covenant. My mind said, go ahead and change it now. I'm gonna put water baptism in the first sign because something tells me it was in that first month of his calendar. Again, if I need to make changes, I will make updates. When you read the book of Jubilees, it really gives you a lot of history of why you don't hear no talk about the Sabbath from Genesis chapter 2 until you get to Exodus chapter 16. When you read the book of Jubilees, it tells you why. And you'll learn that not anyone could keep it in the earth. Now, they was keeping it in the heavens, but in the earth, we learned that not anyone could keep it. You had to be sanctified in order to keep it. Okay? Now back to sign 4.
Can you restate that, please?
Oh, okay. So reading the book of Jubilees is so important because it gives you the history of the Sabbath. And you will find out why we don't see no talk about the Sabbath after Genesis chapter 2 until we get to Exodus chapter 16. For you will learn that in order for one to keep it in the earthly realm, one had to be sanctified for that. Okay. So the only way one could partake in it is they still had to come through Israel. So Israel was the first nation in the earth ordained to keep it in the earth. Now they kept it in the heavens, but when it came to the earth, one had to be ordained to keep it in the earth. So that's what the book of Jubilees, it gives you a lot of history on that. It also gives you the history of Adam to understand why the Father favored Israel over Esau, over Ishmael, and also over the other nations in the earth. Again, you begin to learn that everyone had the opportunity, okay, to have the favor of Yah, but they chose otherwise. This is why the Father gave the other nation over to those principalities because of what was in their hearts. So in other words, none of us had an excuse, okay? The Father is a righteous judge. He is righteous in all that he does and what he decides and whom he gives favor to. Okay, this is why they took the book of Jubilees out because it gives you too much information. It gives you sound doctrine, gives you the truth and the history of Adam and why the Father favored Israel over the other nations. Okay.
Thank you.
Sign 4. So we said that sign 4 occurs in the summertime. There is no Hebrew name that I have found for the month of the moon that is associated with the fourth sign, with the fourth month of the sun. So I had given it a name. I call it the left.
What is that? The left. What is that?
It means door. It's a Hebrew letter, which is translated in the English language. I think it's letter D. It represents the number 4. Okay. And we know the left means door. So it represents what? The Messiah. He said, I am the door of the sheep. I think that's in John chapter 10, I believe. John chapter 10. And then when you look at John chapter 14, he said, I am the way to truth and life, and no one can get to the Father but by me. So that's why I named the 4th month the left. The left.
All right, thank you.
Now that is my personal touch on that. Okay. I don't want y'all be going to my we call it the 4th month the left, you know, like as it was written in the books, but that's what I named it. Okay. The name that the Israelites chosen was because of the Babylonian influence. And the reason why they chose that name, it is associated with the wheat harvest. For you know that when wheat turns brown, it represents what? Like a death or whatever. And this is why it was associated with that deity name that starts with a T, that the prophet Ezekiel prophesies how they were weeping for him. So, but it also gives you the confirmation that the wheat is only ripened in the 4th month. So this is why our people chose to name that 4th month that Babylonian name, which is the letter T. Okay. And this is when we have Shavuot. Pentecost. And I should put in here and the first sign is Peshat. Reason why y'all see me highlighting these feasts, these are the 3 solemn feasts. The 3 solemn feasts. These are the feasts that especially that is required of people to come to Jerusalem to worship, and dealing with the men, they must appear before the Most High. So there was 3 solemn feasts that was mandatory that they need to come to Jerusalem to keep. Okay, now we're going to sign 5. Sign 5. What month? Okay, forgive me, y'all, Shalaki. So we have the month of 5, month 5 of the sun that works with sign 5 of Mazzaroth. Okay. And what seasons should this month fall in? What season?
Is it still summer?
Yes, it's still summer. And the Hebrew, not Hebrew, I'm sorry. And the month associated of the moon with the 5th month of the sun. Or I think it may say Ave, something like that. Okay. And I'm trying to remember about something about this month. This is where we have the wood festival offering. Okay. Now this festival is not really highlighted. It's in the Bible, but Josephus really bring it out. If I hope I got the correct month on that, but I think that is the month. Okay. This is the month where everybody participated in bringing wood to the temple, because you got to have wood to make fire to offer the burnt offerings. Because when you go back in Torah, Deuteronomy 29, you will notice that there were some people designated for only bringing wood and bringing water to the temple. But what the Israelites would do, they had a day they dedicated in the year where everybody participated. And this happened on the 14th day. Yeah, it happened on the 14th day because it had to be the day before the Sabbath. Okay. Also, to that PDF I sent, as well as the calendar, look back at the biblical events of the Babylonian captivity, because I do know the 4th month, the 5th month, and pretty soon the 6th month and the 10th month and the 3rd month has an important biblical event dealing with the Babylonian captivity, and also dealing with the Roman coming against Jerusalem and destroying it or besieging it. So all these months are telling us a lot of stuff, y'all, to edify us, because it's preparing us what's going to happen in this season as well. But right now I'm just giving highlights. So in other words, I'm not giving everything. It'd be too much, but I'm just giving highlights. Okay, what would come to my mind. So when we look at the 5th sign, you know, that's a very important sign to us. As we said before, it represents the lion. Okay, and you can look at, and it's dealing with the East Star. We have the star Regalis, which is the brightest star in the 5th sign of Mazzaroth. Okay, and it comes in line with the planet Jupiter. When you understand the planet Jupiter, what it represents the righteous one, which is really Yahuwah. But we know that the Gentiles has taken these planets and associate with the principalities. Okay, remember Satan copies the Father and the Son, right? But when these two stars or planets came together, they aligned together, that would form the East Star, and it announced the date of his birth. This is why you have him being born in the fall. So he was born in the 7th month when you do research. He's just like his father. He is the beginning and the end as well. All right, now we're going to sign 6 of Mazzaroth, and we have month 6 of the sun. Okay, that works with this sign. And when we look at the name that the Gentile had given, it's called Virgo. And this, you know, we're just going to say this again. We said it before. Virgo, you want to read Revelation 12 and also Isaiah 66, because we know a birth of a nation will come forth. It will happen as he's spoken. Okay. And what season would sign 6 fall in, y'all?
Would that be in the fall?
Not yet, Mom. What's the one before fall? Summer. Okay. Because we got to have 3 months for summer. So now you see that the 4th, the 5th, the 6th months of the sun makes fall in the summer season. Summer season. Okay. Now, the month of the moon that's associated with this is Elul. Elul. And this is the month where we had the destruction of Jerusalem, and I believe it was on the 8th day. So Rome, let's see, Romans besiege.
What is your reference to nothingness?
Oh, yeah. That's what it means, nothingness. He took away the holy city and the temple. Okay.
All right.
And he has a reason why he took that away. Okay, I'll give you the mystery on that. You got to read the book of Baruch. Not the only one in the Apocrypha, but he wrote a second and a third book. What the Israelites established in the earth was like a model, or it's like a symbol to give us a representation what was prepared before the foundation of the world. And when you read those books, y'all, you will learn that the reason why the Father allowed these Gentiles to destroy what was sacred, or what we thought, what is sacred, is because he reveals to those books and say unto us, that is not what I have for you. What I have for you was prepared before the foundation of the world, and is kept in the heavens, which is the new Jerusalem and the Mount Zion of the heavens. So what was given unto the Israelites, yes, it is sacred, but it was a sacred model of what was kept. And you think about it, it makes sense. It couldn't come because our foreparents failed. And when they fell, it caused a left to occur. Okay. So because they got off that path and they could not receive what the Father has already prepared before the foundation of the world, he had to bring them back on that path. And he did that through his son, who is the second Adam and the second Messiah. And when you do a further study, the earth is also holding on to sacred things like I think it's like the menorah and all the other stuff, waiting for the day to come when a birth of a nation shall take place, when he restored Israel, when he restored the Israelites back to their proper place. But he also did that to change our mindset. Let me bring this up. He also did that to change our mindset. Okay. Because with us, because we earthly beings, we are so attached to carnal things. But when he took that away, it was to break the barrier, to understand the biblical prophecy of what it means to worship the Father in spirit and in truth, to understand why you are the tabernacle, to understand why he fellowship with us as us being little sanctuaries that he scattered among the heathens, as prophesied by Ezekiel chapter 11. Do you begin to understand Daniel chapter 12 when he said, I scattered the power of do you understand Daniel chapter 12 when he says the power of the holy people? For we was the vessel, the tabernacle, the temple that contains that power. And who is that power? Is that divine seed who dwell in our bowels. And as we allow that seed to edify us, we shall bear fruits, the fruits of the spirits, and we should be abundantly, like when we get to the month of a bull, pretty soon be ready for harvest. So I love how he gave the name Elul of nothingness, because he needs to for us to graduate. He had to take everything away to get us to understand these spiritual things.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, sign. Okay, we talked about sign 6. Romans BC Yahusha Shalum, which is the city of peace, on, I believe it's day 8, Josephus. Josephus will give you those dates. And notice it took place on a Sabbath day. Let me check my notes just to make sure. Let me see if I put my stuff in. Make sure I'm here the right day. Yep, day 8. On his day of rest. Again, you got to understand the Father, why he does what he does. Just like on day 15 at night, he delivered his sheep out of the pit. He brought them out of Egypt. Again, he is a righteous God. He was saving his children from the dragon. Okay. So we got to begin to understand his mindset and why he does what he does. Okay. And also our enemies begin to understand what days our enemies begin to understand that on the Sabbath day, they know that majority of the time we would not fight, but that did change in the days of Maccabees, but they knew when we was most vulnerable because they knew we like to honor our day of rest that the Father has given unto us. Okay. Okay, now we're going to number 7, sign 7. So the month 7 of the sun, okay, is associated, works with sign 7 of Mazarah. Okay, and we talked about Libra, the scales. I love that. I love that sign because we know scales mean what? Balance. And in order to have balance, judgment will be coming. Okay, this is why he tells us through long suffering, there's joy in the morning. It's not going to be always for us, but for the wicked, their long suffering will be eternal. Okay, this is why he often remind us through the prophets to what? Do not allow the wicked one to shift you. Do not allow them to cause you to turn away from the Most High, because our seasoning of long suffering is only for a short time. It's not going to be forever. Okay. This is why it's so important to understand the end and what the end will bring. It will bring the new beginning. This is something that the wicked do not understand because they take our Father's silence in vain. They think he ain't gonna do nothing, but they don't even understand the biblical prophecies of why he's silent. Okay, he's giving you time to get right, but they take it as a joke. Again, that's another example to let you see how righteous he is. Okay, so when we look at the 7th month of the sun, what season does the sun bring in? The 7th sign, what does it bring in now?
Winter. Does it bring in winter?
Not winter yet, but okay, I understand why you said it, because I did say in one video, when you look at those 2 points, I did say winter. But what else would we say today? Fall. Okay. Because right now we're looking at the 4 divisions of the year. But I understand why you said that, sis. Which you are correct on that as well, okay? So we have the beginning meets the end, and then we have what? The fall equinox. The fall equinox. And I need to make a correction, y'all. Tekafah should be here, not at the other equinox. And the reason why it should be in the 7th sign, because I have to correct myself, because this is telling us when the sun completes its circuit. Okay? This is telling us when the sun completes its circuit. So the sun completes its circuit in the 7th sign of Mazarah. This is the year's end.
So if it complete its circle, then does that mean it has to go around again?
Yes, ma'am. And then it starts a new circuit. So forgive me on that. I do apologize.
No problem.
And this explains why we have 2 different beginnings. Remember, we was talking about the Israelite year. We said the Israelite year begins in a V because that's when the change was given to Moses. But from Adam and all the way down before Moses with our forefathers, they started their year in the 7th month, known as Ethanim or Tishri. Okay. Ethanim is the Hebrew word. Okay. Tishri is the Babylonian word. Okay. That is the month that the moon is associated with these signs. Okay. Now we get into number 8. The sign 8 of Mazzaroth, we have the month 8 of the sun working with this sign. Okay. Which the Gentile called this sign Scorpio. Oh, I forgot to put over here. Sorry, y'all. Let me type this over here. 7 sign represent judgment and balance, which is order. Excuse my phone, y'all. All right, back to the 8 sign. Let me put down the degree. And the 8th sign falls in the Gentile month, October to November. And this is when we have the farmers to plant the seed. Because as we learned, this 8th month is the first rains, known as the former rains. We also know that this is the month of judgment because of the what? Flood. And we also know this is the month of the new beginning. Again, Enoch, Jubilees, even the Bible will all confirm what these numbers mean. Then we begin to understand why the farmers do what they do. They're operating according to the instructions that was given in Genesis and from the prophets. Okay. Let's see here. So what season would the 8th sign of Mazzaroth and the 8th month of the sun fall in? What season, y'all? I understand why you're saying that, Mom, but we're dealing with the 4 divisions of the year.
Because it says October, November, so I must got it wrong.
No, I know why you're saying that based on what I gave in the first video. But right now we're dealing with the 4 divisions of the year. So we said the 7th sign was fall. So what would the 8th sign fall in? It would be fall as well. Remember, that's 3 months for each season. 3 months. But I understand why you're saying winter. Because we're looking at Genesis 8.
It's 3 months for the same season.
Yeah, it's 3 months for each of your season.
All right. All right.
And when the earth was perfect, or before the days of center, you can tell by the climates. Because when we look at spring, climate is warm. When we look at summer, the climate is very hot.
Right.
When we look at fall, it's just cool. And we look at winter, it is cold like ice, freezing. Okay. So now we get into, make sure I have anything else in my notes.
Bull.
Oh yeah. I forgot to mention about Jubilee.
B-U-L. Bull, or is it ball?
Yes. B-U-L is the month that's associated with the sun's 8th month in the 8th sign of Mazzaroth. And
how is that pronounced?
Bull. I think it's Bull.
Okay.
But I do know that word is located in the Bible. So we can always go to blueletter.org and hit the pronunciation. That's how I cheat to see what's the name of it, how it's pronounced. And I did forget to mention with the sign 7, when we look at the sign that the Gentile called Libra, this is also the time when we have Jubilee and Shemitah. So this is another proof how we know that our forefathers have this 7th month as their beginning of the year. So we have the counting of Shemitah, which is every 7 years, and Jubilee, which is every 50 years. It follows after the 49th year, then comes Jubilee. And it starts on, I believe it starts on the 10th day of the month in the 7th month of the moon. So go to Leviticus chapter 25 to get more details about that. Okay, right now I'm only getting highlights. It's so much more, y'all, but we got to do a little bit at a time so we can digest what he's showing us. And then once we digest that, we'll build some more. All right, now we're going to look at sign 9. The month of the sun that will work with sign 9 of Mazzaroth is month 9. The month of the moon that's associated with this is Kislev. Another way to spell it is K-I-S-L. Look at my little note here I got.
Can you pronounce that again?
It's Kislev. C-A-S-L-E-U. Now, give you a little hint. We just said months. We just said number 7 falls in the fall season. Number 8 falls in the fall season. So what would number 9 fall in when the sun enter into the 9th sign of Mazzaroth? What would number 9 be?
Winter.
Close. I understand why you're saying that. Remember, we got to have 3 months for each season. So right now we only have what? 2 months.
Oh, we didn't
for
do
the
spring.
fall.
Is it spring then?
We only got 2 months for the fall, but we must have 3. So in order to have 3, number 9 has to be what?
Oh, fall.
Fall. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now we can get to number 10. The sign 10 of Mazzaroth, the sun works with that, and it's the sun's 10th month. Okay. So what season would this would these 2 lights bring in? What season would the sun and the 10th sign of Mazzaroth bring in now? We're on the 10th month. Look at your notes.
Winter.
Winter. This is when it's what? Cold. Right? It'll be very cold. That's when you had to break that firewood out. If you haven't gotten your salt, you better get some, because you know snow gonna be coming. You remember, you still got to be like that ant. You got to be prepared for all these seasons now. Don't wait till it come in and then try to do something. Remember the story of the grasshopper and the ant? I think the ant had to end up helping the grasshopper out and get him through. For those who watch the cartoons and stuff. Okay, so the 10th month of the moon that's associated with these 2 lights is called Tebet. Tebet. Okay.
And the Gregorian, is that January?
It'll fall in the month of December and January. And another hint, when you study the Romans calendar, I'm talking about like that first calendar, you will learn that Dec or December means 10. Means 10.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm. Because see, before they was using the moon. Because I'm telling y'all, they made a lot of changes in their calendar. Because you will learn that the correct numbers were 10. December was 10 before they made the changes.
So you say DEC means 10?
Yep.
All right.
Means 10. And I think August means 8. When you look these things up, you'll find out their true meaning. And what it's going to do, it's going to show you their history of how many changes they made. So a lot of the book changes came through Constantine. He kind of restructure all their order of their months, because they used to start the beginning of their year in March. They used to do that. The Romans did. Time and date gives you a good history on it too. timeanddate.com gives you a good history of the ancient Roman calendar to the Judean calendar to Constantine, I think, maybe some on that, and then to the Gregorian calendar. Another good site is called Angel Publications. Let me get my little notes out so I can let y'all see that site. They have some good information on the history. Let me go to it right now. Huh?
You said Angel, what was that?
Oh, I'm gonna bring it up on the site. They did a really good thorough history breakdown. It's for Angels Publication. That's what they call themselves. I'm getting the website for you. It's www. The number 4, capital A, which spell angels, with an S, then capital P, which is publications with an S.com. And let's see here. They gave a good history on the calendar, and you can see what Constantine did. Let me see, can I find the link? Where is it? I'm trying to find where to go on that site. Let me see what I got here. And the part you want to read is dealing with time greatest conspiracy theory. Then they got challenging, which is the metamorphosis of Christian into pagan. Then they have the marriage of pagan and Christian. No man can part asunder, which finally leads into, of course, we changed the calendar. That's our sign of authority, which go in hand with Daniel prophesies. I'm gonna try to find where. Okay, let me try books. No, let me try articles first. Yep, I think this is it. Let's see here. They got a ton of stuff up here. Let's see where it's at. One of them is History of a Lie. That's the one I have. Yeah, History of a Lie. That's a good breakdown there. That gives you a thorough history of how we came to the calendar today and how Yahuwah used Constantine to keep the Israelites from keeping the true Sabbath. Okay. Another thing to look at, I'm going to timeanddate.com. It's the 1582 error. Let me go to timeanddate.com. Now, this is something that no Israelite can dispute because this is done with math, straight facts that cannot be manipulated. Let me see where I can go. Let's see. 1582 calendar. No, it's what 1582 Italy. Italy. There we go. Okay, I'm on timeanddate.com website, but what you see, I type 1582 Italy, and this is another good thing to read from Julian to Gregorian calendar. And they will let you know that the Gregorian calendar was introduced in the year of 1582. And you'll learn that calendar is not really that old, y'all. It's really not. And it's also going to show you the September 1752 calendar of the United States. And to keep this simple and straight to the point, when they made the changes, because again, they don't follow the circuit of the sun, they realized they was about 10 days behind the sun year. So they had to make a correction. And when they made a correction, y'all, when y'all go back and look at their original calendar before they made the changes, they made a great error. In other words, they did not start on the correct day of the week. All right. They started on the wrong day of the week. I think for Italy, they should have started on Monday and not a Friday. For United States, I think it was, I can't remember what day of the week they should have started on when they made their changes. So really what we have now, all these days of the weeks are mixed up now. Okay. This is why the Father brought me back to the beginning. He said, now that you see their error and what they have done, now go back to the beginning so I can get you back on track so you know when my true Sabbath day is. Okay. That's just something to check out when when you have in your spare time. Okay. And this comes from timeanddate.com website. You can type in, as far as the keywords, I typed in 1582 and I've typed in Italy together. And it will take you to this article, which is changed from Julian to Gregorian calendar. And another way to think about this, the Most High is not going to give a heathen something sacred. It has always been passed down from a righteous line when it comes to his calendar. So to look at the Romans calendar, even if it's the ancient Roman calendar, the Julian calendar, what Constantine did up to what the Gregorian Pope did, we can't follow it. It's a heathen calendar. It don't come from the Father. This come from Satan. Even the prophet Daniel tells us what he's going to change the times. He's going to change the laws. So this is a very strong piece of evidence to present to our brethren and to our sisters to let us know the Sabbath day is determined by the heavens. It is not determined by the Gregorian calendar, which makes sense because it's not his new moon day determined by the heavens. It's not his Passover day determined by the heavens, as well as Shavuot and Sukkot. So if all these other days are determined by the heaven, why not his Sabbath? Which brings us to this. We're going to get to the formula of the calendar. The formula of the calendar was given to the prophet Ezekiel. Ezekiel has the formula how we should set it up. Let's go ahead to that right now. That'll be one thing so we can check off the list. Ezekiel chapter 46. Now, Ezekiel is giving the plan or what we're going to do in the kingdom to come. Ezekiel chapter 40 to 48. I strongly recommend that when y'all have time, please read it. This is something that you can have the quote unquote Christians to read, because they don't even understand there's going to be a new heaven and a new earth. They don't even know what we're going to do. But yet, as the Messiah said, I had given you my prophets. They telling us what we're going to do in the kingdom to come. So to what's the word? To crush or to diminish all these false doctrines that that's out there, just take them to the prophets, y'all. And then you can really see their hearts. You're going to really see, are they true and sincere of receiving the truth of Yah? And once they receive it, the test is going to be for them. What are you going to do next? Are you going to stay in your old ways, or are you going to allow the word to edify you so you can graduate just like Job to become Adam? Okay, Ezekiel chapter 46, we're going to look at the summary. It said the ordinances for the prince and his worship, and for the people, and the order for the prince's inheritance, the courts for boiling and baking. So when we read verse 1, it says, thus saith Yahuwah Elohim, the gate of the inner court that looketh towards the east shall be shut the 6 working days. But on the Sabbath it shall be open, and in the day of the new moon it shall be open. So it's telling us that the east gate, or the gate that faces towards the east, shall be open on the new moon day. Then it's closed for 6 working days. Then it's open back up for the Sabbath day. That is the formula. How this look like on paper? Let me go to my chart here. Because you know, Sister Yuri have been busy. I got a notebook now, y'all, so I can find my stuff. So I can show y'all what this look like. Let me find my chart. Yeah, I've been busy. Not that part. Let me blow up my screen so y'all can see. Let's see, remove pin, edify. Oh, cancel. Let's see how I can blow this up. Small activated window. I think no. This is. I got to figure out. I'm still playing with this. Ain't gonna worry about it right now. But put my hands on this handout. I tell you what, I'm gonna pull it up. Let me pull it up. I'm gonna type in the search word, create a calendar. Go to images. Here we go. Once let's see, can I find something a little more simple? Here we go. Now you hope y'all can see what that looks like. So here's the formula setup right here. He gave it to the prophet Ezekiel. He said, on the new moon day, the gate that faces the east is going to be open. Then it's going to be closed for 6 working days. Right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is day 7 of the moon. Okay. Then on the Sabbath day, the gate that faces towards the east is going to be open, which is the Shabbat day. And every month in the Most High calendar must have what? 4 Sabbaths. What do we see here, y'all? 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 Sabbaths. And we got the month with a what? A beginning and an end. This is when the moon was perfect before the fall. Okay. Even he speaks through the calendar. You can see the Aleph and the Tav. You can see the beginning and the end in all things. Okay. I'm going to put this in my thing here. So I have it. Okay. Now let's get back to the chart thing. Let me save this. I'm trying to get to that tab, y'all. I haven't figured out how to move that toolbar yet. Okay. See, how can I get to that toolbar? I may have to mute my mic, but there we go. Oh, thank you, Father. So, get back to this chart here. So the sign 10 with the sun, 10th month is going to bring in winter. And this time of this, and that time of that season, it's going to be what? Very cold. Like I said, you better get your firewood and get salt ready. All right. Now we're looking at sign 11 of Mazzaroth. And we know that month 11 of the sun works with this sign. Okay. So what season will this 11 month fall in?
That's also winter.
Yes, right, winter. And the Hebrew name for this month, I think it's, Brother Al, you can help me out. Is it Sebat, S-E-B-A, or is it S-E-B-A-T? I can't remember.
S-E-B-A-T.
B-A-T. Okay. That is the month of the moon that's associated with the 11th month of the sun and the 11th sign of Mazzaroth. Okay. Now we're going to the 12th sign of Mazzaroth. So the month of the sun that works with this sign is the 12th month of the sun. Okay. So what season would this fall in?
Winter also.
That's right, winter. And this month is known as, in the Hebrew tongue, I'm gonna see who, just take a guess. Does somebody know it? What's the name of?
Abat.
Say that again.
Adar, excuse me.
Adar.
Abat.
So we're going to hold off on this point. It is another one we need to add. And this other one we're going to add, I don't want to blow your minds, but right now I just want you to learn this first, and then we're going to build off of this part. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to send y'all a PDF link of this, okay? So you can have it. So those who are able to print it out, you can print it out for your for your record. Okay.
All right.
Let me go ahead and decrease this down a little bit. I'm gonna center all this. Let's see here. And I need to center all these numbers down here. As y'all see, I'm one of the ones, I don't know if it's OCD or me trying to be a perfectionist, but I just like my stuff a certain way. I like stuff neat and in order. Okay. Let me see if it's in. Oh yeah, I gotta show y'all the picture. But far as today, that's enough for today, y'all. I want y'all just to go back, review over the stuff we talked about. Let me go back to the agenda. Go back to the top. So I just want y'all to go back and review your notes that you have on the function of the three lights. Okay, that is your foundation. And I'm going to say this again. I'm giving you just a highlight. Function of the moon is to give us the month. And what we read in scripture, it declares the times. Okay, it lets us know when the Father holy days and holy feast days are. That's what its purpose. Then when we look at the sun, oh, I forgot me back it up. Also, the moon give us the year that we follow. Okay, as Israelites and Gentiles who partake in the new covenant. Then when we look at the sun, as y'all share with me, the sun can give us time. When we look at what time of day is, whether it's morning, noon, or late afternoon. Okay. Also, the sun let us know when the day begin to end. See, the moon can tell you what day, but it can't tell you when it's going to start and when it's going to end. That's when the sun come in. Okay. We also learned that along with the third light, known as Mazzaroth, the sun and Mazzaroth have to work together in order to give us the seasons, because it's very important that we know the seasons to make sure that the moon fall in the right seasons. Okay, and we'll talk about this later on. Okay, but now we begin to understand why the Father ordered the heavens to make a 13th moon, to keep it aligned in the seasons. Because if it don't, Passover would not be in the spring. Shavuot, Pentecost, would not be in summer. Feast of Tabernacles would not be in fall. Do you see how everything's lining up, and why it's so important that we do not separate these lights? And whomever is teaching you our Father's calendar, they must teach you about these three lights. You cannot separate them, but each depend on the other to form the calendar that we see today, right here, to form this. Now, I know my calendar got a lot of stuff, but without these lights, take it a while for my computer to go up, we won't have this, what we see on paper. It would not be complete. Okay. Okay. So on the calendar, the person should have the days of the sun listed, as well as the days of the moon. And they should be able to tell you what day that the sun entered into Mazzaroth and what sign it is. Sorry about that, y'all. Let me say this again. The calendar should show the days of the moon, the days of the sun and its months, and the day when the sun entered into the sign of Mazzaroth and what sign of Mazzaroth it is. Very important. Now I want to end with this, because I did say I would share with y'all why I decided to follow the new moon sighting on the 16th day of the heathens month known as November, instead of honoring the 15th day. And there is a video on the channel that talks about that, but I want to give y'all the information so you have it right now. So the new moon showed herself to Hawaii first before the rest of the world. Remember I said that, remember I was sharing with y'all what our father said, that these lights will do that to be a sign unto you, Israel, to let you know you are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and you have not been restored back to your proper place. You have not been established as a nation. Okay, the Father will bring forth that, as we see in His Word, because the prophet Isaiah talks heavily about that. A birth of a nation will come forth. Okay, so Hawaii saw the new moon on the 15th day of the heathen's month known as November. Now, the rest of the world, including Israel, saw it on November the 16th. So, in this situation, you be like, okay, what should one do? Now, FYI, Brother Hashur, he got to be different. He saw it on the 17th day of He saw on the 17th day of the heathen month November. Okay. Let me go down. Oh, you don't want to act right. Now, what made the key decision for me, when you study the moon phases, we know the new moon can only show on day 1. That's automatically. When we see the moon phase of a half moon, that's a moon increasing in light, which is 50%. From what I learned about this phase, I learned it can appear on the 6th, 7th, or 8th day in this month, which is within the first week in the month. The 6th, the 7th, or the 8th day. That's what I learned about this phase. So when we get to the second week of the month, I learned even through the prophet Enoch that the full moon can only show on the 14th or the 15th day. Now, I'm not saying she has not done otherwise, but I'm giving you what is the norm, what is the expected. So your full moon can only be on your 14th or the 15th day, which makes sense because we only have a full moon on Passover Day and on the Feast of Tabernacles. You always will have a full moon unless the Father say otherwise to give a sign unto us. Okay? That's in the second week of the month. Now, when we get to the third week of the month, this is when we have the moon decreasing in light and she's working back to being 50% illuminated. And what I learned about this phase is usually show on the 21st or the 22nd day in this month. Okay. Well, what happened that if we look at Hawaii's sighting, it will cause this phase not to occur in the third week, but in the fourth week. So I knew right then and there that the moon was doing something crazy or something out of the norm. And this is why I honor the new moon sighting that was seen on November the 16th. Now, I want to share with you because I've been watching these stuff for a while. Some months are very easy to decide, and then sometimes it's very difficult. This is why I say it's nothing to argue and debate. The Father knows where your heart is. Right now, He's trying to get you to understand the concept, the idea of keeping these days, but most importantly, that you have a delight with keeping these days. Read Isaiah chapter 58. Okay? Remember, the Messiah is going to come and get us all on one accord. So there will be some months where there might be some variation when we look at our brothers and sisters, how we keep these days because of what the moon is doing. Okay. So when you get into the fourth week of the month, you will learn that the moon is decreasing in light again, and she's going down to a silver crescent. And that usually occurs, from what I remember, the 27th or the 28th day. Okay, maybe the 29th. but for on the top of my memory, usually the 27th or 28th. Then when we get to the dark moon, that's when the moon has no light upon her. I found that usually occur on the 29th or the 30th day, and I can't remember if it ever occur on the 28th. But those are the typical norms of these moon phases. Okay. Now I expect you to understand this again as we start keeping record of this. The more you practice of keeping record, then you begin to understand these things. Now for the picture that I've been promising y'all. Last week, for those who've been watching the heavens, what do you notice about the moon that was working herself up to a half a moon as far as in the heavens? What did you notice last week about that phase in the first week of the moon?
I might not be saying this right, but I'm gonna take a guess at it anyway. The end, the end of them, the end, the bottom end and the top end.
You said the bottom end and the top end. Okay, I need for you to be a little more specific. What did you see about that moon? What you saw in the heavens last week? And what I'm doing, as you thinking, sis, I'm putting this picture, and it made y'all get remember because you told me what you saw. Okay, you told me what you saw.
Bright, really bright.
Okay, it was bright, and what else? When I show you this picture, it's gonna jog your memory, Mom. I'm getting to it.
I'm thinking.
Okay, I'm about getting there, y'all. I see the picture, but I got to see which one to select. I don't know if it's this one. Hold on, y'all. I'm still selecting my pictures. Okay, I found a good one. All right, I'm gonna take y'all back to this document here. Refresh my page. And I want y'all to give Mom a chance. Because when she see this picture, she might, oh, I sure did tell you this. Okay.
Is it there?
Almost trying to get there.
I thought I had cut you off.
Let's see here. I'm gonna have to send that picture to you by text, Mom.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm just gonna have to. Okay, here it go. I don't know now. I'm gonna have to tell y'all where the moon is in this picture, but it's there. It's kind of faint. And then let me copy this. Let me copy it. Copy. I'm gonna send this to Mom right quick. Okay, Mom, I'm sending it to you now.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
As she just opened it, I'm just gonna point out to them where this moon is at. The moon is really here, y'all. I know it's kind of faint. It's right here. But notice where the sun is. And this is at the time of the sun going down. And also in my picture, you as you see them flying in the air, putting something in the air as usual.
They're putting COVID-19 in the air.
Yeah, putting something in the air.
I can't remember what I said.
Okay. So me and Mom was talking together because it was the same day when I was seeing this too. And I hope I had the right picture, but I'm just gonna tell you what we saw. Y'all, the moon was about halfway between the east point and the west point. And how I know, because I use like landmarkers, okay? And the sun was setting in the west. And during this time of the phase,
I remember.
During this time of the phase, it looked about quarter way or about halfway, okay, between the east point and the west point. And here's something that you will learn about these phases of the moon. When we see the new moon, we always look for what in the west. But as time go on, or as the days persist, we notice that the moon is working herself back towards the east. For when she get back towards the east, she would be what? A full moon. This is why the prophet Enoch say that she would rise up in the east and she would be lit for the whole night until morning come in, and then she would go down. In other words, as the sun is rising in the east, the moon would be setting in the west. So just by paying attention to the heavens, you begin to learn anything about where you at in the month. So by me seeing that the moon that is what increasing in light, it is working herself to what 50%. I noticed that she's about a quarter to the halfway mark between the east and the west. So I know that I'm in the first part of the month. In other words, I'm in the first week of the month. Isn't that amazing? Just by looking at the heavens, knowing this information. Also pay attention when you start seeing these phases, like what time does it occur? Does it occur in the morning? Does it occur in the noon or the afternoon? By knowing this, do you understand where you are at in the calendar? Whether you are in the first week of the calendar, whether you are in the second week of the calendar, or the third week or the fourth week. Just by looking at the heavens.
Okay. Excuse me. So what's the formula again? You said when the moon is moving towards the east, it says unless you know that you're in the second week. I know it's some other part of that, but can you reiterate that? Thank you.
In the first week of the moon, she is working herself up to 50%, making herself what? A half moon, right? When you notice her phase in the heaven, she appear about quarter of a way to half of the way between the east and the west point. Do you see this here in this picture? Sun is over here. This moon is right in here. And if this picture was bigger, you would see where the east is. But right now, this is the west. So this was letting me know she is working herself back to the east. Why? Because when you read the prophet Enoch's writings, it says that she's a full moon when she rises in the east, and she's going to stay up all night long until morning. She's going to set herself or go down as the sun is rising up in the east. So the moon is what? Going down in the west, full moon, and the sun is rising in the east. This is how you will know where you are at in the calendar.
Okay, all right.
Not calendar, I mean the month. Sorry, in the month. So
Okay, so
first week,
in this picture, the moon is going down and the sun is rising.
no, in
Say-
this picture, the sun is going down. The moon is already out. She's been out for a little while. But notice her position in the heavens. Where's she at? From the east to the west point. Let me get me a piece of paper.
I
Well,
may
no, I
have.
follow you. If you're using the sun demarcation of the sun where it is disappearing at the Earth's surface, if you're considering that as a point, being the west point, then I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I would go an equal distance to the left of that, and then that would be the east point.
I'm typing it out. Father giving it to me.
Reduce it to word, my sister. Reduce it to word.
Now, do y'all see this? East point, west point, sun going down. Half moon is about what? Quarter or halfway between these points. Okay? You know what? I got to get this back right. I don't want this. Let me go back up. We know you can only see the new moon in the west point, right? When you want to look for that new moon crescent, you can only see in the west point as the sun is going down.
Right.
Okay? How we know what week we are in? When we look in the heavens, sometime about, I think in the afternoon. Maybe look at this phase right quick. Because Wikipedia gives you the dates and times when you can see this. But if you observe the heavens and yourself, you pretty soon you won't need no Wikipedia to tell you when you can see these moon phases. You're gonna know automatically. But it's very important that you observe this throughout the year so you can make sure there's not no difference in the seasons when she comes out. Okay. Can't put my hands on it right now. I ain't gonna worry about it. So here we see it's either half, or it's either a quarter to halfway between these 2 points. Okay. So she is working herself. See here, new moon at the bottom. She only seen in the west point, in the west area, right? But she's working herself back to the east. So when you see the half moon, what we seeing? We seeing what the first week, right?
Right.
I need to go back, which is first week. New moon is what? First day. Now in the east, she's working herself back to what? To be what? Full moon.
Okay.
Now watch that full moon at night, y'all. Y'all gonna see that moon traveling in the heavens, right? Going from the east point to your right-hand side. Right-hand side is what? South. And notice how that moon traveled the heavens. This is how you know when midnight would be. And you mark off the times in the heavens. Okay? So she's working herself back to the east because on the full moon day, she rises in the east and she shines all night long, and then she was set in the west. That's the full moon. So we already know where we at in the month. So if you see that half a moon, that means I'm talking about increasing in light. She's 50%, which is waxing. They call it waxing. That means increasing in light. Okay. Very important that we know that. So you won't get confused with the other half moon. Okay. So she's increasing in light, y'all. And we notice that she appear between the east point and the west point. Let us know that what I'm going back to the east soon, so I can be a full moon on that day. And when she become a full moon, she gonna rise in the east and she gonna shine all night long. and she gonna set in the west. So when we see the half moon waxing up to 50%, we in what, first week? When we see the full moon rise from the east, it let us know what, we in the second week of the month. Are y'all starting to see this now?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting it.
Again, the only way to see this, you're gonna have to go out what and look at these heavens.
I'm looking at it. Yeah.
The more you look at it, guess what? You're gonna be an expert. You won't need these wolves who charging y'all to tell you about the Father calendar. Pretty soon you're gonna be a pro at this. Okay.
So, sis, I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, so now in November we saw the half the sighting of the moon. It was on the 16th, right?
That's right.
Okay. So what I'm trying to figure out, do I count when I saw the moon or after?
You start from that sundown point.
From the 16th?
Yes, ma'am. Because remember, the Father days will overlap in the heathen days. So on your calendar, let me see here. I don't want to hit stop sharing. Remember, hit stop sharing screen so you can see what I'm talking about.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So on your calendar, let me see, can I find one that I had started numbering? Oh, I forgot I got this notebook. It's supposed to keep me straight. So when we was doing this pocket calendar here, or whatever calendar you was using, I gotta get me a pen, y'all. Hold on. I ain't mean to show y'all my laundry. As you see, I be using the heavens too.
No, you
That's
doing
free
it right
energy.
though. You doing it right though.
Uh-huh. That's free energy, y'all. My light
Solar,
bill has
yeah,
went down tremendously.
That's okay.
Yeah, get that solar. Get that solar.
But y'all hear me? My light bill has went down tremendously. See, the beast want to oppress you and constantly keep you in debt. No, I'm gonna use what the Creator made for us. Air is free and light is free.
There's a lot of people doing that. A lot of people, trust me.
I'm going back to them old ways. See, people complain about it, but I'm going to appreciate it. Okay. See, this is where wisdom came in. All right. So I do take advantage of the heavens. I sure do. All right. I'm going to number this out, Mom. Okay, makes 1, 2. Okay, yeah, this is 7. Okay. I hope you can see this. So we saw the new moon on day 16. That's the day we're going to honor, right?
Right, okay.
So do you see how our day will overlap in their days?
All right.
So when you write it down on paper, oh, I'm sorry, I got you on speakerphone. Let me take a picture. I got to take a picture for Mom, y'all. Hold on. I forget, Mom, on that speaker phone.
Greetings,
I
Sister
won't be
Yatia.
for long. I'll be in there.
Okay, y'all hear that? Mama coming in. She said,
Yes.
not gonna hold her back, but I got Mama. I'm gonna take a picture. Oh Lord.
Okay.
I hope I get
Sister
this.
Yatia.
Yes.
Sister Emily was striving to come in. I don't know.
I did. I got her in.
Oh, all right.
She should be in. Cause I did get her in. Let me make sure. I got to find that tab, but I remember hitting the button to admit her in. Okay, here go the participants. She must have fell off. Oh Lord. Tell Sister Emily, this is new for me, and I do apologize, but I do remember admitting her in. I don't know what happened. Can you text her to tell her to try again?
Very well.
Okay. And let her know I did record this, so that way nobody don't miss anything. All praise to the Father. And y'all pray for me, because this is new. So
I do every day.
thank you, Bob. I sure do appreciate it. Because we need it. Let me see.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. The code is still working. So I sent the picture to your Mom. But
All right.
what y'all see is, you see how they overlap in the Heathen's Day? See, the Father Day begins on the 16th at sundown. Sun is going down, right? So there's light remaining in the sky. And it won't end until day 17 on the Heathen's calendar at sundown. And that's when day 2 will come in, okay, of his month, the ninth month, which is the second day. So this is why, again, as you see, you got to write this down on paper to really see it and to understand, because it does get confusing because of what the Gentile taught us about their calendar. So we have to write it down until what it is in us. All right. And pretty soon you ain't gonna need no paper. You can be like, I can do this. Okay. Because it's gonna be in you. All right. Okay.
Right.
Oh, I'm gonna say that is enough for today, y'all. I don't need to give no more. Y'all need to digest. And our goal next week, we're gonna go into Enoch and reinforce what we just learned about the sun working with Mazaroff, and also look at some other scriptures so we can nail this in tight together. Okay, because like I said, we're gonna still be building. And then once we master that part, then we can talk about the 13th month, because we'll be dealing with some math. As you see, the Father work in math, science, physics, as well as grammar, all them good subjects, social studies, all that stuff, history. He works in all things, but they all are connected together.
Hey, sister.
Mm-hmm.
I want to recommend what maybe a better tool to use for these meetings, which is Teams. And it is a Microsoft product. We use it at work all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's, to me, I've never had a problem with it. I've always had a problem with, the other tools. But Teams,
Okay.
you can sign up for free.
Oh,
And if there is a cost, then we can all just split the cost.
okay. You said team. Wait a
Teams,
minute.
Teams.
I'm gonna look that up because I like free stuff. But y'all know I'm tight. Cause see, I already take my money.
That's all of what you say.
Uh-huh. I mean, really, I already take my money and invest in the kingdom. And I'm not talking about invest in the kingdom, like helping the sheep out. Hold on, y'all getting a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Shalom. Okay. Okay. That'll be fine. Okay. Sure. Okay. So, what I was about to say. Yeah, I'd rather take my money and invest in the kingdom, such as helping his sheep, but also taking that money and putting it in tools that we need, whether it's books, you know what I'm saying, whether it's certain social sites where we can communicate and stuff like that. This is what the Father wants us to do. He's trying to release us from debt so we can take the money he give us to invest in his kingdom, in his work, you know. And that's another reason why I'm so tight the way I am, because I'm more focused on his will and what needs to be done. And that's part of being an Israelite too, because they said the what's the word? The layman term is that they say we would Jew people down. We're top them down. So it's in it's in our blood. But when it comes for us making money, we're gonna try to get what the maximum dollar. That's how it is with Israelites and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna check that out, sis. And if I have any more questions, I will get back in touch with you on that. All right, y'all.
Mhm.
I'm so happy for those who can. I mean, I'm so happy that for those who are able to attend, I'm happy that we can also record this for those who are not able to attend. That way, everybody be up to date. So next week, it just be what building on what we talked about. We're gonna look at some scriptures that gonna work us up to learning about the 13th month of the moon. Okay. So I will be working on sending you the PDF link of the chart that we did today. So that way you can print it out, make hard copies or whatever. And if I can have, if someone would like to volunteer for prayer, we can do so at this time to close this out.
Father, we just thank you for
Oh, wait a minute, Mom. Wait a minute, Mom. All right, let us face the east. Yes. Yes, you be ready. Okay, let us face the east. Remember, sisters, let us cover our head as a sign that we're under the power of Yah. Brothers, uncover your head as he instructed you to do, because you are the head, because the Messiah is over you. He is your head. So as a sign of that, you uncover your heads. Okay, hold on, y'all. Let me get myself positioned here. All right, let's face the east. Go ahead, start, Mom.
Father, we thank you this morning for giving us the opportunity to come together as a family, to learn your moons and the stars and things that we didn't know before, that you are bringing it out and you are teaching it to us now. We thank you for the understanding and the wisdom, the later wisdom that you give us so that we can understand these things. And we know that it takes more than just one time. It might take a couple of times. It takes the time till you come back and take us from off this world. We just glorify you this morning. We give you praise and we give you honor for who you are, because there is no one else like you in this whole universe, in this whole world. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for waking us up in our right mind this morning and giving our limbs the work to do what they need to do in the course of the day, in the course of this day. We magnify you, not because we ready to leave this teaching, but when we leave this teaching, we will constantly keep each other on mind and pray for one another, and constantly keep you in our mind all day, and constantly teach some more and learn ourselves about what we need to learn before you come, to know when you come and how you're going to come. We appreciate you and we love you so very much. Glorify you and give you honor, and we give you praise. We bless you. In your son Yahushua's name we pray. Amen, amen, amen.
So be it. Hallelujah. Thank y'all for coming. For those who was not able to come but who would like to join us, just give me a call at 919-972-8970 so I can send you the information on how to join us and fellowship with the family of Yah. This is about us coming together, for we are under one God, which is Yah, under one Son, which is Yahusha HaMashiach, under one Spirit, which is the Ruach HaKodesh, who is the glory of Yah, the beauty of holiness. For as you see, we are a family. That's what unites us, and that's what makes us family. We, as you see, is to connect us who are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. This is not about a clique. This is not about a camp or a church or assembly or organization. This is about the family of Yah. So you see someone on the panel that you want to be ministered unto, or you need to reach out to them. This is the purpose of us gathering, so we can unite and exchange contact information, so we can encourage one another in these last days. For it is truly the last days. Again, thank you, and we bid you a shalom. And remember, to receive salvation, read Romans chapter 10. Also, to partake in the water baptism. If you have no one to baptize you, you can do this yourself. For the water is the second witness in the earth, and it will give a testimony unto our Father in heaven of those who enter into the new covenant that was established by Yahusha HaMashiach. As far as the Holy Spirit baptism, the Father can give that to you himself. You can all you have to do is ask in his son's name, and he would give it according to your heart, your faith, and your works. Okay, the instructions are there. Read the Bible for yourself. Remember, all of us has to work out our salvation. For all of us, we have to face our Creator and receive his judgment. No one can answer for you. You will have to answer for yourself, whether you are male or female. Remember that. Shalom.
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 Shalom.